Hi, my name's Jen. Welcome to my channel, All of My Plants. Today's video was supposed to be plant chores, but kind of lazy today. It's 9,000 degrees. I just don't have the motivation. So we're going to look at some plants that are what I call my favorites. Every plant is my favorite, so I definitely call them favorites, but maybe ones that I'm impressed with right now. Infatuated with? I don't know. Because once again, that could be all of them. But the first plant, I haven't really had that long. It's Aglaonema pictum tricolor. And I think, was it last video? Last video or the video before, I just got this plant, so it's been 2 weeks at most. I haven't repotted it or anything, but I'm pretty happy with it. I really expected it to, like as soon as I got it in here, I expected it to drop some leaves. I think I said they grow stupid, grow dumb, that's what I had heard, or that's what I had seen from other people's, but they're in tissue culture now, and I don't know if the tissue culture version grows a little bit better because, you know, tissue cultures, you'll buy one little plant and for whatever reason it'll continue to put off offshoots, so it'll be more of a clumping plant than it typically would in nature. And I think that's kind of what's happened here, because it's 2 plants technically in this pot, but I bet you the second one comes from somewhere on the first one further down, and the one that's higher up has also split. The taller plant has split. And while there's one leaf on here that didn't really open up, like unfurl fully, it really hasn't grown stupid. It hasn't dropped any leaves. It's still kind of, you know, doing a thing. And I do think it's quite pretty, quite pretty. So far I'm pretty happy with it. It's got roots coming out the bottom. I do need to kind of look at that. Maybe you can see the white there. But so far I'm kind of going with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality. I need to water it, I guess. I'm always half afraid to water Aglaonema because it's definitely been for me a plant that, any Aglaonema, has a love-hate relationship with water. Hi, Weenie. Come on in. Come on. Get in your couch. So yeah, it's a plant that still needs water but hates water. Long story short. I say it hates water. They're kind of easy to overwater for me. I have other Aglaonema that are doing fine, several actually, but you know, I've heard this one can be trickier. I don't know. So far it's been pretty much like any other Aglaonema. And like I said, the thing that surprises me about this and has had me keeping an eye on it is that it's so far not really growing dumb. It's not dropping leaves, you know, knock on everything. So far so good. The next plant is Florida Ghost, because not so long ago, I've always liked this plant. I've had this plant for 6 or 7 years, I'm gonna say. Pre-2020, that's all I can tell you. I think maybe even pre-2019. So I've had it for a while. It was still a fairly expensive plant, actually, when I got it. It wasn't common in my area, I'll put it that way. Or I don't even know if it was common in most areas at that point. But it was all green. I mean, this is just some cuttings that I stuffed in here. Every single one of them, they grew green. Like, they came out and unfurled green. There was absolutely no color other than green on this plant. And it was growing that way for a while. I had it on a moss pole. And I've heard heat, light, blah, blah, blah. I cut this in the winter. It's grown up here in the air conditioning. I took a lot of lights out of this room, so it's getting less light than it ever has in its life. And it's fine. It's fine. It's the best it's looked in a couple years. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. You can say heat, light. A lot of people say that for Hoya Sergioensis as well. I have not found that in my experience, that heat or light has made a difference with that plant. I currently have, it was a cutting. It's been a little plant for ages now because it's been kind of neglected. It's been kind of on hold because while I do want to grow that plant, I was so frustrated with it after the last time, I've just kind of let it remain stunted. I think this has spider mites currently. But I still like it. Yeah, it's the best it's looked in years. I keep bringing up the Paraiso Verde because people will kind of say the same thing for both of them. You know, conditions is how you get the lovely colors. The desired effect, I guess. I don't know about that. I really don't. Because I haven't found that to be necessarily the case. This one here, I think it'll grow like this for a while. It'll grow good for a while. I've cut it several times before. And then I think it'll go right back to giving me all green leaves again. Well, they're all green in the first place. Also, the older ones on this one are not hardening off to green. They're staying white. But the newer ones are coming in more minty. So I suppose you can kind of whoop, whoop, whoop. See the difference there with the newer leaf. Oh, there we go. The newer leaf and then the older leaf. They were coming in very, very white. Now they're coming in more minty. I don't know. It's just what my particular plant does. But I still like it, and I think it's pretty, and I'm going to be happy with it as long as it does this. And I guess when it starts going, you know, they come in all dark green again, I'll cut it again. I don't think I'm going to grow it on a pole anymore. Like Florida types seem to size up just fine on their own with or without a moss pole. I mean, I guess you can get them pretty massive on a moss pole. I have a Florida Green outside, a Florida Beauty downstairs, but I just don't see the point necessarily. I don't need 87 massive Florida types, so it's just going to be what it's going to be. I think it'll be pretty happy trailing. I think it'll do just fine, so that's the plan. I don't know where the other pot is. It's over here. This is the other pot of it, and you can see already it's putting out much greener leaves than this one. Much more minty. Like, there's actually a couple here that are pretty green, that are newer, you know. So I don't know. And one's died already. Maybe I'm underwatering this a bit. But anyway, the point being, they came from the same place. They came from the same stock, so to speak. So I don't know. Happy with them both, but this one's on fire right now. And then, of course, because I love pothos so much, I actually brought this one in. This one's been outside. We got a dead leaf. This one's been outside. It's Justia pothos, and I brought it in because it's ready for an extension, and some water, but I can water it outside. There's a cat attacking my feet. It's done really well. Since way down here, when I first put it on the pole, it instantly found the pole. I haven't had to tie it on again. It's just found it, rooted in there. It's doing really, really well. It's been the easiest plant ever. And I think that's why I love pothos. It looks like it's had some thrippy damage, maybe outside. I don't see anything actually on it. I'll probably go ahead and spray it and treat it just in case. You know, for reasons. But, so yeah. I'm going to extend the pole, and anymore I don't want 87-foot tall poles. So I'm going to be very committed to making sure that as soon as it reaches that pole, that it has enough moisture and nutrition and whatever to grab that pole. Because I am so sick of having really tall poles. I just did my global green. As soon as I extended the pole and I noticed that it was rooting in, I cut it and replanted the top of the pole. I think it was only like 4 leaves on there, and now it's almost to the top of that pole. But point being, it's really hard for me to have 4, 6, and 8 foot poles in my house, and I just don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm fine with this. This is, you know, 2.5 feet maybe. I don't know. Where's the measuring tape? I'm not sure how tall these particular poles are. 26 inches to the bottom of the pot. I can manage this. This is not that top heavy, even after I, you know, completely saturate the moss. And that's been a big issue with having taller poles. They get top heavy, they're very unstable because I'm trying to always keep the moss wet, but I don't want the pot to always be wet. So they do topple. There's 3 on here. It looks like 2 have really taken off, but the third one is way down here. Third one's way down here. But after I cut it, I'll probably give the base to one of my daughters. I'm sure they'll be happy to have it. But yeah, I really love this one. The global green is looking great too. It's just got a few more days probably before I have to extend it. This one here has really taken off in the greenhouse, so that's why this is the one that got to come in. Hopefully I actually do it today or tomorrow so that I can get it back out there. It's really enjoying the heat and humidity out there. So pretty. So pretty. I don't know, I just really think this plant is lovely. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't know. It's kind of like a minty or limey color. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that. Gorgeous, that's how I describe it. Wait a minute. So I did just tell you that Epipremnum pothos grabs the pole easily. This one here, maybe not so much. This one is never going to be a favorite, I don't think. It's Epipremnum Skeleton Key, and I have not been able to get it to Skeleton Key. It's needed an extension or a top up even of the moss for a while now. I can actually see where it's kind of grabbed in there, but it's pinned even as high as here to try to encourage it to stay attached to the moss, because it just wanders off wherever. Like here, this one is just wandered. It's not even trying. You're not making very much effort. It's for your own good. I'm going to try with it a little bit longer, I guess, but I am not having a great time with the Epipremnum Skeleton Key. It's not the first time I've trash talked this plant, but I mean, it's not bad. It has sized up some, and to be fair, I did have it growing, just trailing, for quite a while before I got around to putting it on a pole. I think there's like 5 in here. 5. And like, I see some roots growing in there. This one at the front is not even trying. This one here is not even thinking about the pole. I mean, there's roots in here, but not what you'd expect to see with 5 vines. I guess I was figuring I'd give myself the best chances if I stuck a bunch on here. Some of them are grabbing, I guess. I don't know. I'm just not impressed with this plant. Anyway, back to the plants I'm enjoying. Variegated string of hearts. And I don't even know how long I've had this plant. It probably doesn't look like much, but I don't grow it hanging. I grow it like sitting, kind of, you know. So I keep chopping it about here. I let a little bit dangle, but I don't want it dangling completely off the shelf, because then the cat that's in here, his name is Shade Destroyer of Worlds, the little black kitten that I just got from all the kittens that I just had. Somebody dropped him off. He'll attack everything and pull it off the shelf. So before that, the other cats would too, or I would walking by. So I just keep it kind of trimmed, but it's a very fast grower. That, and I don't really enjoy the tangled mess that they make, because they do shed leaves, and when they're blooming, they shed those weird little trumpet flower things everywhere. But it's a pretty plant. It's a pretty plant. It does well. I think I need to give it some more light, because a lot of the new growth is tiny. But pretty, very pretty. And I like that a lot of the new growth comes in kind of pinkish. I don't know if you can catch any in there, but there's some in there. Some pink. It's just an easy plant. I know a lot of people will tend to treat them more like a succulent, or even like a Hoya, and keep them kind of drier. I water the heck out of this thing, and half the time it's still not. Actually, you can see some wrinkly hearts in the top there from where I've underwatered. But yeah, if you want to keep it nice and full and happy, water it. Water it. I love it. It's just an easygoing plant. I don't find it too prone to pests. I don't know if I've ever had any pests on it. Have I? Maybe if I have a spider mite infestation and I like set it next to an alocasia or something. But other than that, I don't think I've ever really noticed anything on it. It's just a good plant. How can you go wrong? Pretty. And then a philodendron. I think I've had it about a year now. It is Filidendrin Upi. And it's a sticky one. It is. It gets EFN mostly along the petiole. That's where I see it anyways, petioles. And perhaps where the new caterpillar, the new leaf is going to come from. But this plant here, I gotta tell you, I obsessed over it when I first got it. And then we had some low humidity and had leaf issues. You know, the rest of the leaf here just doesn't exist because it just ripped itself unfurling. At that point I was like, well, maybe this is going to be one of those plants, and I'm just going to take care of it and we'll see where it goes. That was when the humidity was the lowest. It might have been 20-30% in my house. Since then, I haven't had any problems, and it's been kind of growing faster. I think this is the most recent leaf here. I need to get it set up on some sort of support, I guess, you know, before it just starts crawling. I don't think I'm going to put it on a moss pole. Because once again, I'm pretty sure this one will get huge if you let it or encourage it. And while I don't mind a large plant, I don't know if I want an enormous one, because the leaf to petiole ratio, it's not terrible. It's not, but it is something I'm considering here, you know. So I'll probably give it some support just to keep it upright, but not a moss pole. And I from the looks of it, it's going to size up just fine whether I give it a moss pole or not. So that's something I'm kind of constantly considering anymore, is does it really need a moss pole to be happy? I don't think this one does. But it's been an easy grower, a really easy one. And it's rooted like crazy in here in its little deli container. I don't know if you can see them, they're kind of dark, but they're all over the place in there, the roots, I mean. So, you know, it's been happy. They're actually not coming out of the bottom, I'm surprised. They're staying put in their pot like they should. But yeah, it's just been an easy one. I have underwatered it a fair bit. I go through spurts where I'm just distracted and I forget that plants need water to survive. It's life. But yeah, it hasn't missed a beat. It hasn't minded it. Like I said, the worst thing that's happened to this plant in my journey with it was the humidity at the very lowest point. It kind of slowed down growing, and the one leaf that it did put out, it ripped it. But I haven't had another problem since the humidity started coming back up this year, and it's actually put out a couple leaves since then. I think it still has the leaf she sent it to me with. Maybe not, I'm not sure. Not sure, but yeah, it's done well. If it lost a leaf, that was the only leaf it lost, was the original one from the cutting. So pretty. I love it. This, again, I've talked about this Hoya in the too distant past. Not in the too distant past. Why are words hard? Hoya Matild Splash. It used to be Hoya Matild Super Silver, which it's been through something here. It really has. It's been underwater to the point of, like, all the leaves were wrinkled. It was in Pawn or Leca, and it had root mealies. And I don't know why, when a plant is doing bad, I kind of go, ugh. Like, I know it has pests, I just don't want to deal with it. I'll take it and set it in the other room and just kind of forget it for an extended period of time, which is exactly what happened to this. It was given to me, and it came with free root mealies. which I think I've actually managed to get rid of, which is amazing. I moved it to soil and put systemic in there. And then I can't remember whether it actually had flat mites, but I did treat it for flat mites because it no grow. And it's been growing for a couple months now. It's not breaking any records. It's pretty dry, that might be why. I'm trying to desiccate it again. I'm not, but you know. I'll water it after I get done here, I promise. I see little tiny leaves growing even. Like, I don't know if you can catch any, but... So we're not the splashiest anymore. I mean, it's still splashy, but it's just not as splashy as it was. It was ridiculously splashy. However, it is growing. It looks healthy. I am so happy with it. So happy with it. I haven't had any more reoccurrence of pests that I'm aware of. It's not currently covered in sulfur. I've kind of left this one alone because I'm going to check it again. I did spray it over a couple months time, 2-3 months, maybe 3 months, I'm gonna say it's been, maybe even longer. But the last couple times I've watered it, I've just kind of showered it off. So I didn't really scrub at it or anything, which, you know, there might be some residue still on here, but it's not as heavy as it is on some of the other Hoyas. Most of what I see is actually under the leaves as far as the sulfur. But yeah, so excited to see this one grow. And I will probably trellis this one. I usually don't trellis smaller leaved Hoyas anymore, but the leaves on this are actually bigger than I thought they'd be. Like, I've got big hands, but I don't know, maybe you can see that leaf compared to the size of my thumb. So I'm just surprised that they're as big as they are. I think in other people's videos they just look smaller to me. Perception. Not that their leaves are actually smaller, just the way I perceive what I'm looking at. But yeah, so pretty. What? This is Shade Destroyer of Plants. Demanding attention currently. Come on. Get down. And then this one, which is still covered in sulfur. Oh my gosh, look out, little kitty. I just almost sat on him. I want to say it's Hoya Sergioensis. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. This plant has also been through something. It came to me from the same place as the Hoya Matild. Had root mealy's. It was on a trellis in, I want to say it was in Pawn. So I took it off the trellis, I made cuttings of it, and I think I rooted those cuttings directly in soil. Got rid of the base of the plant, and it's doing great now. This one here, when it's growing new leaves, which it's been kind of doing, but unfortunately they're all hardened off now, still covered in sulfur, sorry about that. But when they first come in, they're this dark, deep red. Love it, I love it. I don't know if it sun stresses. I've never put it outside yet because it's not been healthy enough to put outside. It might go out there this year. It might do that. And we'll see if it sun stresses once I get all of the sulfur and stuff off, because I try to be careful about what I put out in the greenhouse as far as pesticides go. You know, be nice to my environment. But it has new growth on it everywhere right now. It's put out several new leaves, and it just sat here. The cuttings that I had made, they just kind of sat there for so long and did nothing. So it's growing, and like I said, I can't say that it's the sulfur that's done it, the sulfur treatments, or that it's the time of year, but I don't think it grew much last year. I'm not sure, but thrilled with it. I really like this plant. It can put out very large leaves. Right now they're kind of small. The new ones here, there's like a cluster of 4 maybe there. And I think that's because I really haven't been focused on making sure that this plant is fed. I've just kind of been watering sulfur, which isn't to say it hasn't gotten any feed, but fertilizer, but probably not as much as I normally would. the sulfur, it tends to get all over the soil, and I don't know if you're supposed to flush it through, but instead of just letting it build up on top of the soil, I've been flushing it through, and I've used water. Or maybe a dilute fertilizer. But yeah, I'm going to start feeding it again, and I guess once we check the Hoyas that I've been rinsing instead of sulfuring, we'll determine whether or not I need to continue with that. But yeah, I could go on all day about plants that I'm happy with or impressed with right now. Like, this one it's tough. There are so many plants that I've realized over the last, I don't know, 10 years are just so tough. Like, they can take a licking and keep on going. And then other ones that I'm like, yeah, that plant looks tough, I kill it within a week. I mean, it happens. I was just talking when I hauled this plant, asparagus fern, about how wonderful they are and how I've grown them before with no problem. And then I left this one alone for a week, and more than half of it, it's just gone. It's just gone. This cat is attacking my back. So I've cut a lot of it back, and I do see a couple new shoots coming up. Like, I still have hope for it. But yeah, that seems to be how it goes. I'll be like, yeah, that plant's tough. Not for me. Ow. Sir. Oh, stop. You're so bad. You are scratching me, and it's painful. I don't like it. I'm gonna lock you out. You're cute, though. Can you not eat my microphone? Of course I overheated, and I can't even remember what I was talking about now because it's been so long. I was letting the camera cool off. And now there's a tiny kitten in my seat. I'm pretty sure I was done. I think this was the last plant here, was this Sergioensis? I still don't know how to pronounce it. Is it 1, Sergioensis, or 2, Sergioensis? Let me know if you know. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go drink a lot of coffee, probably too much, and then attempt to actually get some of my plant chores done. So thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me, and come back and check me out again soon. Bye.